Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. This is theblackfinancialchannel.com. I wanted to tell you guys, it looks like the NBA is going to be open back up. The NBA has apparently come up with an agreement to restart the season. They're actually going to start the season with 22 teams, I guess, because the season was almost over, and they only want to keep the teams that have a shot at making it to the playoffs. So the opening of the NBA season is going to be contingent upon making a deal with Disney Resorts, which is a place they plan to hold all the games and all the practices. There are going to be 8 more regular season games, followed by a full 4-round playoff bracket. So I'd be really curious to know who you guys think is going to win the NBA Finals this year. I was really rooting for LeBron and the Lakers, and that's that's a team that I love to watch, especially since they have a Kentucky guy on there. The big tall guy, unibrow. Anthony Davis. That's his name. Yeah. So long story short, it looks like the NBA is starting to open back up. And now what's interesting is that while all businesses are opening up, a lot of things are changing with the recent protests and the chaos that's kind of been going on. A few dynamics have shifted. First of all, number one, if you're not investing, I feel sorry for you because the stock market has been insane, and it actually had its best 50-day run in American history. It's never had a better 50 days ever in terms of opportunities to make money. That's the first thing. Second thing I'll say is that a lot of businesses are starting to open up. I think that people are sort of looking at it like they're thinking, well, okay, look, if you guys can open up, for people to go and have protests, then we can open up for actual business. So it's ironic. While businesses are being sort of torn down, burned down, looted, and vandalized, businesses are also opening up. And I think that a lot of cities and a lot of mayors across the country are going to start opening their cities up. Governors are going to open their states up. That's another dynamic of what's going on right now. The third dynamic that's interesting is that the CDC feels that the public is not listening to them anymore. And I do agree. The public isn't listening to the CDC anymore. I'm down in Florida right now, and nobody's wearing masks. Nobody's talking about, pandemics or anything like that. Everybody's just sort of living. And honestly, that's what I was doing a month ago. The next thing that's interesting is that so the CDC may be right. Maybe the corona thing is out of control. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw, but the brother that just got killed by the cops, George Floyd. And by the way, don't forget that there's 100,000 George Floyds out there. So don't get so caught up in one case that you forget that the goal is to fix an entire system. If that camera had never been there, he would have died in silence and you never would have known about it. So never forget about the fact that for every one guy you see, there's 10,000, 20,000 people that you didn't see who died where there were no cameras around. Nobody knows, nobody cares, nobody's talking about it, nobody's holding vigils, nobody's celebrating their life, none of that, right? So just remember, the goal is to fix the system, not the individual. Speaking of systems, Joe Biden is a person who has benefited tremendously from the recent momentum. According to a lot of the analysts with Goldman Sachs and other places who are trying to figure out what's going to happen stock market wise as a result of the next election, they believe that Biden has really taken a big lead over Trump. I'm looking here, and it says a recent poll shows that the 2020 Democratic nominee Joe Biden has pulled ahead of President Donald Trump. His lead widened significantly during the last month. Many of the polls surveyed respondents after the death of George Floyd, which set off a nationwide protest movement against police brutality and systematic racism. And so, that actually makes me very sad. Because if you know anything about the history of Joe Biden, you'll know he's a law and order guy. He won't say it, but he was really pushing really hard for that Clinton crime bill that incarcerated more black men than any president in the history of this country. So Joe Biden is, the Holocaust, the blood is on his hands from the original black Holocaust of mass incarceration that occurred in the 1990s. So if you feel that, somehow you're going to get more relief from a Biden versus a Trump, I kind of feel bad for you because that's just simply not true. That's just not supported by the data, by the evidence, the information. He's worked with a lot of the white supremacists and Dixiecrats and the people that you have an issue with. Biden was buddies with those people. Just go look it up. Don't believe me, just go look it up. But on a deeper side, in terms of stock markets and all that stuff, I believe that the market is processing Biden as a more moderate liberal. or moderate Democrat. He's not a liberal. He's not, Elizabeth Warren or Bernie Sanders, who, will help in the dismantling of capitalist systems. Joe Biden's a guy that's, might be seen as a pragmatist. So he's probably gonna, let businesses run the way they run, and, and stuff like that. And there are a few differences between him and Trump in a business standpoint, but the differences are not vast and massive. So anyway, the last couple things I'll mention to you guys is that jobless claims came in today. The total unemployment level is worse than expected. Millions and millions of people have lost their jobs. Basically, according to the most recent report, 1.87 million people lost their jobs this week, and I think that was a complete waste, because there was no reason to shut down the entire economy for that pandemic, because it wasn't a real pandemic. It wasn't, it wasn't the big wave everybody said it is. But hey, who's going to listen to me? Also, the continuing jobless claims are now at about 21.5 million, which is a sign that workers are being called back to work very slowly. So according to this article, they said filings for unemployment claims total 1.87 million. Economists surveyed have been looking for 1.75 million. This was the first time the government's weekly jobless claims report came in under 2 million since the week ended March 14th. Quote, even as states reopen, claims in the millions are an indicator that the economic pain of the COVID-19 crisis is still acute. So right now, you're having tremendous economic distress, which was, again, it was totally unnecessary, because there was nothing about the corona scenario that justifies shutting down the entire economy and causing everybody to lose their jobs. I just think that was something that just wasn't necessary. And what's also going to happen is that a lot of these landlords are going to get impatient. At the end of each month, you have a day of reckoning where there are landlords that are licking their chops to start evicting people, and not just residential, but also in terms of businesses that have space that they rent and things like that. So at the end of the day, I'm a believer that the economy should be allowed to open. People need to have their businesses. You can't tell people that it's okay to go outside and get together to protest, but it's not okay to go outside and get together to run business. That doesn't make any sense. People need to pay their bills. So that's my 2 cents. That's what I believe. You have friends that will back you in 2024. Back you 2024, boys. You know what? I am not running for president of anything. I'm going to run for president of intelligent black people. How about that? Can I get your vote as the president of intelligent black people? If I can get your vote, I promise I'll deliver for you. And that's the nation that I believe in. I believe in the black nation. I don't care about the other nation. I want to be a part of the black nation. And actually, believe it or not, I had a great conversation with someone behind the scenes that I cannot reveal just yet. But everybody who's been talking to us about creating a black political party, I got a big surprise for you very, very soon. So just hold tight until I can get to the point where I can really talk about it publicly. But some people came together with something that I really thought was cool, and I think it's going to be something that we can all get behind. But let me go look at the details in the fine print and make sure that it's something that makes sense. All right, guys. So I'm out. Do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you subscribe to theblackfinancialchannel.com, theblackfinancialchannel.com. If you want to know more about investing and you haven't bought your first share of stock, go to firstshareofstock.com. Free training that's right there for you from the Black Business School. Go to firstshareofstock.com. And also, if you want to learn more, if you're a little bit more advanced, feel free to join the Black Stock Market Program. That's where I meet my students. I answer every single question they ask. They have a private blog where they leave me questions, and I go in there every 2 days. I answer every single question about anything you want to know about investing. So, and the first month is only $1. So it's awesome. So try it out. That's theblackstockmarketprogram.com. All right, guys. I'm out of here. Have a good day, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Peace.